Hey everyone, this is Pallavi, and today we are diving into the 11th game from the book The Most Instructive Games of Chess Ever Played by Irving Chernoff. Titled King in the Center, this game was played between Tartakower and Frentz in Paris in 1933. Featuring the English opening, it perfectly illustrates the dangers of delaying castling. As Chernoff wisely said, if a man delays castling and leaves his king in the center, open files expose him, bishops take control, rooks dominate, and pawns promote. Let's jump in and see how it all unfolds. White started with c4, knight f6, knight to c3, and then e6. White played e4, d5, c takes d5, e takes d5, and now white played e5. Black played d4. Black has strong line with knight e4, sacrificing a pawn for initiative. The continuation could be knight takes e4, d takes e4, queen a4 check, knight c6, queen takes e4, and then bishop e6, bishop b5, bishop d5 attacking the queen, queen g4, a6, bishop takes c6, and bishop takes c6 with a slight advantage for black. So black played d4 and white captured e takes f6, d takes c3, f takes g7, and now c takes d2 check on the king. It's remarkable that both players have a passed pawn on the 7th rank so early. However, this position will only last for a fleeting moment. Bishop takes d2, bishop takes g7, and now white played queen c2 supporting the b2 pawn. Knight c6, knight f3 developing towards the center, bishop g4. Black neglects king safety. The more solid bishop d7, aiming for queenside castling, offered better chances. Now white played queenside castle. Bishop takes f3, g takes f3, and now black played knight d4. This attack is risky given the exposed king. While it's tough to find a perfect defense, black could have played queen f6, rook e1 check, and king f8 to brace for a tough battle ahead. So after knight d4, now white played queen e4 check, queen e7. If instead of queen e7, king f8, then bishop b4 check, king g8, rook g1, and threatens rook takes d4 with the help of the pin. And if instead of queen e7, knight e6 blocking the check, then bishop b5 check, c6, bishop takes c6, b takes c6, queen takes c6 check, king f8, and now bishop to b4 check, and white wins the queen. So after queen e7, white captured queen takes e7 check, king takes e7, bishop b4 check, and now black played king e8. If king d7, then bishop c5, not bishop c3, because c5 saves the knight. So bishop to c5, then it's win for white. And now if instead of king d7, king to e6, then bishop h3 check, and after that f5, rook h1, rook he1 check, king f7, rook e7 check is winning for white. Another variation is after king e6, if knight f5, then rook he1 check, king f6, bishop c3 check, king g5, rook d5, and white wins a piece. And instead of king g5, if king g6, then bishop takes f5 check also wins a piece. So after bishop b4 check, black played king e8, and now white played a good move, bishop b5 check. Because if knight takes b5, then rook he1 check, bishop e5 only move, rook takes e5, and it's a checkmate. So after bishop b5 check, black played c6. Now white played rook he1 check. All pieces are involved in the attack. Knight e6, bishop c4, putting pressure on the pinned knight, rook to d8. Now white played bishop takes e6. White fails to keep his bishop, so one must know when to sacrifice one advantage to secure a potentially better one. Rook takes d1 check, king takes d1, f takes e6. Rook takes e6 check, king d8. Now white played rook e7. If king c2, then simply protecting the b pawn is too passive. The rook must be aggressive in the endgame. So white played rook e7, then black captured bishop takes b2. If bishop to f8, then rook takes b7, guards the bishop directly. And if right now king to c8, then rook takes a7, now indirectly guards the bishop by the threat of rook takes a8, rook a8 check with a skewer on the rook. So after rook takes b7, a7, king b8, rook a4, once again directly saving the bishop, having picked up 2 pawns in the interval. So black played bishop takes b2, then rook takes b7. It attacks the a pawn, threatens bishop a5 check, creating a discovered attack on the bishop. Bishop d4. The bishop protects the pawn on one side and the rook on the other. White disrupts the bishop with a tactical move, bishop c5. A pretty move which renews the threat of winning the a pawn. King c8. If bishop takes c5, then rook b8 check, wins the rook. Black played king c8 and now rook takes a7. Again the threat is still there. Bishop takes bishop. So here black played king b8. Then white played bishop takes d4, rook d8. Black will recover the piece, but white gains time and pawns in the meantime. Rook takes h7, rook takes d4 check, king e2, rook a4 attacking a2. Now white played h4. Passed pawns must be pushed. Now rook takes a2 check, king e3, king c8. The king rushes back to stop the pawn. If black defends by placing the rook behind the passed pawn, the play could go with rook a1, then h5, rook h1, h6, c5, king d3, rook h4, guarding the 4th rank, then f4, rook takes f4, rook g7, rook h4, and then h7, king c8, rook g7, rook g8 check, and white wins. And instead of rook h4, if black goes rook f8, then h7 followed by rook g8 and white wins. So after king c3, black played king c8, white pushed the pawn h5, king d8, h6, and then king e8, rook b7, clearing way for the pawn. Now black played king b8. If rook a1, then again h7, rook h1, pawn promotes to queen, rook takes queen, and then rook b8 check, and white wins. So black played king f8, white played h7, rook a3 check, king f4, and black resigned. A simple and enjoyable game. Now let's look at the key lessons learned from this game. Number 1, king safety. Delaying castling can lead to serious vulnerabilities. Number 2, initiative over material. Sacrificing a pawn can be justified for active play. Number 3, passed pawns. Push them aggressively toward promotion. Number 4, piece activity. Keep all pieces involved in the attack. Number 5, active rooks in the endgames. Rooks should be aggressive, not passive. Number 6 is tactical timing. Well-timed moves can gain tempo or material. Number 7, defense matters. Placing a rook behind a passed pawn can offer counterplay. And number 8 is seizing opportunities. Recognize and capitalize on weaknesses. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this game as well. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to my channel to show some support. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.